Over this recent past, with the way things have been, they certainly have been different. I've been speaking to numerous singers and entertainers and performers. I've got a lady now whose career spans many, many years of loads of success, continual success, and number one hit songs. The one and only Kathy Durkin. Great to have you along, Kathy.
Oh, thanks a million, Jerry, and good to speak to you as well. You're looking fabulous as always.
Ah, bless you, Kathy. In all fairness, I'm doing my best. I'm looking for a barber shop, but they're scarce at the moment. I'm going to have to.
Don't worry about it. At least you'll have a little extra hair you never had before, so that's good too. You know?
Indeed, yes. At this age, it sort of is, isn't it? Listen, what are you doing these days? You're not doing a major amount. You're probably like the same as the rest of us. You're staying in and staying
safe.
Same
as everybody else. Yeah, I have an older sister and an older brother, and they're not allowed out. So I'm the designated driver to do their shopping. That's number one. I help out the neighbours. I mow their lawns. I've got into all sorts of farming things now since I gave up. I even planted potatoes, Jerry, and onions.
Well done.
And I decided, well, what else can you do? You clean the house so many times, you can't do much more. I sit down and I listen to music. I try and learn new songs, which sometimes, my concentration as you get older is not as good as it used to be, but you do your best. But you know what? It's not that bad. Thank God there's nobody sick around me, and I know nobody that has had the virus. I actually don't know anybody. Thank God that has been sick or affected in any way. So, what can I say? It's I'm in the same boat as everybody else. We just have to stay at home and just be patient.
Indeed. It will just take that time, and I doubt. I was just thinking there. I doubt if the whole thing will be over by the time those potatoes are ready. Because I was just trying to work it out. I could get a bag of fresh.
Oh, but I think the potatoes could be ready about August. I hope, September. And my onions are doing really, really good, and my lettuce, they're all great. But my potatoes, I think, is going to be a little bit later.
Right.
But it's you know what? I go out walking as best I can because I've had a bad injury in my leg, and I can't walk too far, but I do my best.
Well
but
done.
The one thing I do notice is the silence and the birds singing and the no traffic on the roads. You know what I mean? And it's just so beautiful just to listen to the birds singing and just the silence. I think it's just amazing. Maybe it's a good thing this happened because you never listened to the silence before. Even if you I went to a lake the other evening and to a river, and just the sound of the water and the lakes, and these are things we haven't appreciated in about the last 20 years. We're all in a hurry, we're rushing, we're doing things that, you know what I mean? And maybe it's a tap on the wrist to tell us, wake up and smell the roses. There's other things in life that you can do, and
indeed.
And there's great things. You can really keep yourself busy as well. Maybe it's easy for me to say that because where I live, it's in the country, and there's plenty of things to do. But I do pity those people that have families and in built-up areas that can't get out or can't let their kids out. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're going through hard times, and that's the sad bit. When you think
Indeed.
of those people.
Indeed, and the other thing, of course, with the current situation is that's very, very noticeable is in cities the lack of pollution, which is truly astounding. Actually, the lack of pollution that there is in.
Oh, absolutely, and you can see it too. I think that's why we have such good weather. There's no planes in the air, and there's no traffic on the road, and all of this, can add to, we're talking about the global warming and all that. Maybe this is a lesson, and maybe this break will do the whole global warming good. You know what I mean?
Indeed, so
this 3 or 4 or 5 months break all over the world.
Indeed,
so maybe we needed that.
Possibly, it certainly will be it'll certainly be a changed world afterwards.
Yeah, but. With regards to the music, there's no music, and I can't see anything happening because they're not looking at opening the bars or the hotels or the theatres until September, October, So I can't see anything happening. We're hoping, that it'll open before that. Fingers crossed it will, but I don't know. It doesn't look so bright at the minute, so
Indeed.
we just have to...
Indeed not, and it's
we just have...
pretty tough
we have to...
have social distancing if you're talking about theatres, you're talking about bars or hotels, dances or anything like that. Just, I mean, how does...
I can't see that happening. I don't know how you do it. It wouldn't pay the theatres to open if you have to sit 2 seats or 3 seats from somebody, then it'd only be a third full. You know what I mean? The theatres wouldn't be full, and they couldn't... I mean, by the time they open up and pay staff and insurance and everything else, it's you know what I mean? The same with hotels. I don't know if they're not allowing weddings. That's where they make the money, and the whole thing is it's very crazy and it's very sad. But we just have to do what we have to do and stay safe. And our health is better than wealth. So
exactly,
just put up with it for a few months and see how and do the best we can.
Yes, better to be poorer and alive.
Yeah, it's true. And that's a good saying, Jerry. I like that.
Yeah, the alternative, there's no coming back from death.
No. And we can survive. And as I said, there's plenty of things out there that are that we can do to survive. And we were sort of overlooking things because we're having too good of a time eating out. And in fairness, I always cooked. I always made my homemade bread. I always cooked all my life because my mother taught me how to cook. And I was one of the family that always cooked. And even if I was going away on a gig, something like that, I'd always take a day or two out that I'd make stuff and put them in the freezer so that they'd have it when I'd be away. But I was always a great one to cook, and now I'm cooking for the neighbours. I'm doing everything. I'm cooking full time now.
Oh, crikey, you could beat Gordon Ramsay at this stage. Kathy,
I could be.
Listen, you had the huge number one, the Unforgettable Working Man, the biggest selling song in Ireland. That was 1989, wasn't it?
89, 90, and it sort of started in late 89, and 90 and 91, it was voted the best single in Ireland. RTE voted one of the best singles in RTE and in Dublin, and it even outsold the Fields of Athenry at that time in 1990 and 1991, because I still have the big I call it a big trophy that they gave me, that it was voted the best song. It was a great song. It really was a great song. And I still, even to this day, when I sing it, people will come to me and say, have you got that song on CD? I bought it on tape, and now the tape is worn out.
Yes.
And they'll still buy that song, The Working Man. People will still buy it.
Yes, it is. It's astounding. Incredible song.
Yeah, and you know what? I probably sing it better now than I did 30 years ago.
Wow, that is something, because it was a pretty good version of it back then, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it is, but I really believe that I do a better job at it now, and maybe that I've got more confidence singing it. Do you know what I mean? And I really enjoy singing it even more now than I did, say, maybe in the 1989, 90s. But it's still a great song. No matter where I go, I'm asked to sing it. I'm associated with that song. But I'd like to have a few more to be associated with as well. But in the earlier years, The Clock in the Tower was a great one, Midnight to Moonlight. People still enjoy them, but in the last, since before Christmas, I brought out that new album. And I think I really have a great song on it. But because in 89 we had the radio stations to plug that song for me, I think that was... I had great benefits from all of the radio stations, and everybody got to hear it. But I think now it's so much harder to try to get your song out there than it was in the 90s and 95. You know what I mean? To hear my song. But I have as good a song, I think, on that new song. It's called Go Light Your World.
Yes.
And it's on my new album. I don't know if you listen to it. But
indeed, yeah, the Blue Transistor Radio is the name of the album.
Yes. And there's a song, number 6 on that album, called Go Light Your World. And it was produced by Jonathan Owens in Granard. He did a very good job in it. But I heard it in New York at a homeless concert. And it really is very, very strong song. And I when I recorded it, I thought this is going to be a working man. But it's maybe because I'm not working as much, or it's not out there as much at the minute. But I really believe that song is equally as good as The Working Man. It's a magic song. It's a very, very strong song. So
indeed,
if you get a listen to it, it's called Go Light Your World. And Darkness into Light are using it here in Ireland now as the theme music for different people. And I sang it then for the frontline staff. I put it out on YouTube for the frontline staff there recently, and I got great, I got great reviews on it. So it's just that it's, when you don't have the national radio stations in Ireland playing it, that's a big, big setback to everybody. You know what I mean? You do need, we have all of the local radio stations playing it, but you do need a little bit of a boost. And I remember when I was with The Working Man, every radio station in UK played it. Every radio station, even the BBC, the UTV, all of them played it on their stations. You know what I mean? But you don't get that as much now. I really feel that we're dependent on Irish radio in England and on the local radio over here. And it doesn't get. I don't think it gets across over here, especially anyway, to the bigger groups. You know what I mean? But I'd hope to think that my song "Go Light Your World" will make an impact on people as much as The Working Man did.
Yeah, it's appropriate for the times that's in it, but it's very hard, as you say, at the moment. It's far more difficult, even though the entire media landscape has completely changed. But it is tougher to actually break a song today than it was back in '89.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like day and night. It's that difficult, and even for new entertainers coming up as well, it's very difficult for them compared to, say, even 40, 50 years ago when Philomena Begley was starting out and Big Tom. It was so much easier then than what it is now. It's very, very difficult, and it's the same all over the world. You know, I mean, you have great artists all over the world, but you just have to be in the right place at the right time for somebody to nab it and grab it and put it out there. So it's very difficult.
Indeed, and a little bit of luck to boot always goes in well.
A little bit of luck, but as you say, if you get it played and people like you, and there's enough of people out there, and you have your health, and you can meet people with a smile and give them happiness as well. What more do you need? Indeed,
exactly. You were doing more recent times. Yeah. You were doing some concerts around the place. You did some in the UK.
Yeah, I did 2 tours in the UK, and I really enjoyed it. And it was all theatres that I was doing. And honest to God, I never had such a 2 weeks and met people I hadn't met in years, and I mean in 20 years.
Yes.
And I really loved it. I was all over England, and I was very, honest to God, I was really, really pleased with myself. And people, came to see me that remembered me, even being in the Galtymore and in Coventry, in Birmingham, and Liverpool, and all over those, in Leeds, everywhere, in Reading, all of those places, and then in London, of course, as well. All of the clubs in London that I played for years, and they're all gone now. But it was nice to get back. And at one stage I was saying, will I bother going back at all? But it did give me a lift, and I really, really enjoyed it. And now, last year I was quite busy in Ireland as well, but mostly I do theatres, and I don't do the dance scene anymore because as I said to you early on in the interview, Jerry, I had a bad fall going back about 6 years ago, and I'm not able to stand for only about 20 minutes to half an hour, and then I really have to get a seat to sit down on. But I can do me 20-25 minutes, half an hour, no bother. But after that, I really show my age.
You're only a slip of a lass. Kathy, listen,
slip the lass.
It's been lovely to catch up with you again. It really has. I've tracked and I've played your music from you started out back in the day, and it's
I do appreciate that, Jerry, and I do remember you come back when we're down in, I think you were down in Pontins, and you were at all of the Irish, we did any of the Irish shows on Sunday afternoon, the big festivals, all of them festivals. Indeed, you were always there.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're all gone as well.
They are indeed, unfortunately. It's changing times.
Changing times, yes. And the last time I met you was with Pat Hayes.
That's right.
And I think it was down in Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, that's right, yes. That was just a few years ago. There you go.
Yes,
Kathy, listen, regards to yourself and all the family, and listen, stay healthy, stay well. I hope the potatoes and the onions do well. No doubt they will.
Oh, God, yes. And I want to say hello to all my friends and fans out there in all across UK and all across the world. I believe this goes out all across the world. And it's great talking to you, Jerry. And you stay safe and stay well as well.
Thanks a million, Kathy. Thank you.